Welcome to our channel. If you're a history enthusiast, then you need to hear this. A spark in Corsica. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. Corsica witnessed the birth of a legend in 1769. From humble beginnings, his ambition burned bright. He devoured books on military strategy, dreaming of conquest and glory. The French Revolution ignited Europe, and Napoleon saw his opportunity. He rose quickly through the ranks of the French army. His tactical brilliance shone on the battlefields of Italy. Napoleon's star ascended with each victory. He crowned himself Emperor of the French. The age of Napoleon had begun. First flames of war, early victories in the Italian campaign. Italy became the proving ground for Napoleon's military genius. He faced the mighty Austrian Empire, a formidable foe that had dominated the Italian peninsula for centuries. Napoleon's army, though smaller, was driven by revolutionary fervor and led by a commander of unparalleled strategic insight. At Lodi, Napoleon's courage under fire electrified his troops. They stormed the bridge, routing the Austrians and securing a crucial victory. Mantua, a strategically vital fortress, fell after a lengthy siege, showcasing Napoleon's logistical skills. The Italian campaign was a triumph. Napoleon, through swift maneuvers and decisive victories, had shattered the Austrian hold on Italy. He established himself as a force to be reckoned with, a military prodigy who could outmaneuver and outfight any opponent. The victories in Italy sent shockwaves across Europe. Kings and emperors trembled on their thrones, recognizing the threat posed by this upstart general. Napoleon, however, was just getting started. His appetite for conquest was insatiable, his ambition boundless. The world would be his battlefield. The pyramids tremble. Napoleon's Egyptian adventure. Napoleon's ambition extended beyond Europe. In 1798, Napoleon led his army on an audacious expedition. The campaign began with a stunning victory at the Battle of the Pyramids. But the British Navy, under Admiral Nelson, destroyed the French fleet, yet even in defeat, Napoleon's legend grew. Master of the battlefield, Austerlitz and the pinnacle of glory. Napoleon returned to France a hero, his reputation untarnished by the setbacks in Egypt. He seized power in a coup, declaring himself Emperor of the French. Europe once again found itself engulfed in war. Napoleon, leading his Grand Armée, faced off against the combined might of Austria and Russia. The Battle of Austerlitz, fought on a cold December day in 1805, would become Napoleon's greatest triumph. With masterful precision, he lured his enemies into a trap, feigning weakness before unleashing a devastating counterattack. The Austro-Russian armies were routed, their emperors humiliated. Austerlitz cemented Napoleon's reputation as the greatest military commander of his age. He had humbled the mighty Habsburg Empire and asserted French dominance over Europe. The victory at Austerlitz marked the pinnacle of Napoleon's power. He stood astride Europe like a colossus, his empire stretching from the shores of Spain to the borders of Poland. Section 5, the Spanish ulcer, a quagmire in the Iberian Peninsula. Napoleon's empire, though vast, was not without its vulnerabilities. The Iberian Peninsula, home to Spain and Portugal, became a festering wound that drained French resources and sapped Napoleon's strength. Napoleon's intervention in Spain, intended to secure his empire's southern flank, ignited a fierce resistance. The Spanish people, fiercely independent and aided by the British, waged a relentless guerrilla war against the French occupiers. Napoleon's armies, accustomed to conventional warfare, struggled to adapt to the hit-and-run tactics of their elusive enemies. The Peninsular War, as it became known, became a costly quagmire for Napoleon. It exposed the limits of his power and emboldened his enemies. The Spanish ulcer, as Napoleon himself called it, was a constant drain on his resources and a harbinger of the challenges to come. Section 6. The Russian Winter's Bite, a campaign of hubris and disaster. In 1812, Napoleon embarked on his most ambitious campaign yet, the invasion of Russia. Determined to crush his erstwhile ally, Tsar Alexander I, Napoleon assembled the largest army Europe had ever seen. Over 600,000 men, a force of unprecedented size, marched eastward towards the vast expanse of Russia. The invasion began well, with the French winning a costly victory at Borodino. However, the Russians refused to engage in a decisive battle, retreating deeper into their vast territory. As Napoleon's army advanced, the Russians employed a scorched earth policy, burning crops and poisoning wells, leaving little for the invaders to sustain themselves on. The Russian winter, with its brutal cold and relentless snowstorms, descended upon the Grand Armée. Napoleon's forces, ill-prepared for the harsh conditions, perished by the thousands from hunger, disease, and exposure. The retreat from Moscow became a harrowing ordeal, a testament to the folly of Napoleon's hubris. Section 7, A Lion Cornered, the Sixth Coalition and the Battle of Leipzig. Napoleon's disastrous Russian campaign had emboldened his enemies. Prussia, Austria and Britain formed the Sixth Coalition, determined to break the French Empire once and for all. Napoleon, his forces depleted, faced enemies on all sides. He fought with his customary skill and tenacity, winning a series of impressive victories in Germany. However, the odds were simply too great. At the Battle of Leipzig, known as the Battle of Nations, Napoleon's exhausted army faced a massive Allied force. The battle raged for 3 days, a desperate struggle for survival. In the end, the French were defeated, their empire crumbling around them. Napoleon, defeated and abandoned by many of his former allies, abdicated and was exiled to the island of Elba. The reign of the emperor, it seemed, had come to an end. Section 8. Exile and the 100 Days. A flicker of hope extinguished. Exile on Elba did little to diminish Napoleon's ambition. He watched as the Congress of Vienna, convened to redraw the map of Europe, threatened to unravel his legacy. In 1815, Napoleon escaped Elba and landed in France. His return ignited a wave of popular support. The Bourbons, restored to the throne after Napoleon's downfall, fled Paris. Napoleon, once again emperor, ruled France for 100 days. His enemies, however, were quick to respond. The Seventh Coalition, comprising Britain, Prussia, Austria and Russia, mobilized their armies to confront Napoleon one last time. Napoleon, hoping for a decisive victory, marched into Belgium to confront the Allied forces. His gamble failed. At the Battle of Waterloo on June 18, 1815, Napoleon's army met its match in the combined might of the British and Prussian forces. Section 9. The Emperor's Tactics, Speed, Surprise and Decisive Action. Napoleon's military genius lay not in any single innovation, but in his masterful synthesis of existing military doctrines and his ability to adapt to changing circumstances on the battlefield. At the heart of his success lay a core set of principles: speed, surprise, and decisive action. Napoleon's armies moved with a speed and agility that astonished his opponents. He understood the importance of logistics, ensuring his troops were adequately supplied even on long marches. This allowed him to launch surprise attacks, catching his enemies off guard and seizing the initiative. Once engaged, Napoleon sought decisive action, concentrating his forces on the enemy's weak points and aiming for a swift and overwhelming victory. Section 10. A continent remade the legacy of Napoleon's conquest. Napoleon's campaigns, though ultimately ending in defeat, left an indelible mark on Europe. His conquest shattered old empires and redrew the map of the continent. The Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive legal system introduced by Napoleon, spread throughout Europe, enshrining principles of equality before the law and secularism. Napoleon's wars also helped to fuel the rise of nationalism. His invasions, while initially met with resistance, sparked a sense of national identity in many parts of Europe. Napoleon's legacy, however, is a complex one. He was a ruthless conqueror who waged war on an unprecedented scale, yet he was also a visionary leader who implemented lasting reforms. Section 11. Conclusion: the enduring shadow of the Emperor. Napoleon Bonaparte, the Corsican artillery officer who rose to become Emperor of the French, remains one of the most fascinating and controversial figures in history. His military genius is undeniable. His campaigns, studied by military strategists to this day, revolutionized warfare. Napoleon's ambition, however, ultimately proved to be his undoing. His lust for power and glory led him to overreach, culminating in his disastrous invasion of Russia. Yet even in defeat, Napoleon's legend continued to grow. He escaped exile, rallied his followers and met his final defeat at Waterloo. Napoleon's life, though ending in defeat, continues to inspire both awe and condemnation. He was a man of contradictions, a ruthless conqueror and a visionary reformer, a product of his time and a shaper of history. His legacy, debated by historians and enthusiasts alike, continues to loom large over the world, a testament to the enduring power of ambition, brilliance, and the enduring allure of glory. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories. Thank you for watching.